Hey guys, I'm Chewy Mew, but my real name is Eric, and welcome to another Chewy Mew review, where today we're taking a look at another figure. So there's like 5 or 6 figures that were in a box in my attic that I thought I lost. I thought I just didn't have them anymore, but I'm really glad that I found them. And today we're taking a look at another one of those figures. And that figure is, let me grab it off my desk, that is the Toybiz Planet of the Symbiotes Riot. So I do think there is another Riot that was in, like, I think it was the Build-A-Figure Lizard wave. I think it was. But either way, I think this is a pretty good figure as well. It doesn't have all the articulation of that guy. But as a kid, this was so much fun to play with, and all these bendable tentacles and stuff. So this is from a Toybiz wave. This is before Toybiz began the whole thing of super articulated figures. This predates, all of the Spider-Man classics. These ones are before that era, and it's still awesome looking. Sculpt alone, yeah, it may have some poor articulation, but to me, if a figure has poor articulation but looks awesome, I think that's perfectly fine. Look at the craziness of this. It's got all these crazy tentacles. You got like 2 tendrils coming out of the hands. You got 6 on the back. They're all crazy, wiggly, and jiggly. This to me, this screams toy. To me, looking at this, like, oh yeah, that is a toy. That is a toy. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that in a bad thing. Like, yeah, they're called Toybiz. Of course, they're toys. But a lot of the figures afterwards, they feel like, figures. To me, this is more like a figure. Something you'd, like, display on a desk. Something you'd have, like, on a shelf above you with, like, all your diorama of Spider-Man figures. To me, that's what this looks like. Super crazy posable. Something a grown-up would want to buy and, like, put on a desk or something. To me, this screams toy. Like, take it outside. Just have a lot of fun. Play with it all day long. And when you're done, just put it in the toy box. Probably can't see, it's too small. It says 1996 Marvel made in China. And this foot says good old Toybiz Incorporated. Darker green. He's kind of closer to the color of this wire here. But, I don't care. Honestly, looks this awesome, then I think it's like, who cares? It looks so awesome. That face looks just like Lasher in the comic books. He's got these huge Venom eyes. No teeth because he doesn't have teeth. A big bulbous head, kind of like an alien-looking head, and I think that looks awesome. He's got these tentacles. All the tentacles have like a spear on the tip, and then like axe on the sides, axe here. All of them have like axes. I do think they reused the same tentacles for all the arms. He's got claws. All of the fingers, or the nails, I guess they would be, have like these huge like claw axe looking thing. Looks kind of like a web shooter to me. And has like another axe. These ones are baby blue and has like a spear tip to it. So does this one. To me, this looks like, a symbiote. Like, yeah, like Venom, Carnage, those two are definitely symbiotes. But to me, this is like these crazy tentacles and stuff. To me, this is like crazy symbiote. One thing I loved to do as a kid was pull the tentacles back and then release them. You see the tentacles just flying around everywhere. Super crazy wiggly. His elbows also have axes. The muscles on this look kind of weird, and like in a good way. I don't mean weird like, ooh, they look bad. Like, they look weird in a good way. Like, look at that. Like, it just looks like a bunch of muscles bulging out of his legs. He's even got like a 6-pack in here. It's hard to see it because all of the like the blackness on it. More ribs here. Like, it doesn't look just like, like pectorals, like, regular muscles on a chest. Like this Spider-Man figure here, the first Spider-Man figure I ever had. You can see the muscles, the pectorals. You can see like the muscles on his legs, on his back and stuff, and they look normal. They look human. Compare that to this guy. It doesn't look human. Like, look at the way the way the muscles look. Like, it looks like a symbiote. Like, I don't expect it to have muscles of a human. Look at the palm. The palm even has this crazy detailing. Like, look at my palm. Normal human palm. Look at that. That looks like crazy, like alien. Like, you can see the veins and stuff sticking out. I think that's amazing attention to detail. I don't remember if he looks like that in the comic books, but I think the figure has like definitely comic book inspiration. But that's the one thing I love. Hasbro would take something inspired from comic books and like, twist it around. Like this guy, he looks just out of the comic books. Of course, different color and, a little more texturing and stuff, but it looks just like the comic books, plus Toybiz is just, crazy creativity. And like here you can see the joints. They use metal joints because this was back before Hasbro really knew completely how to make super articulated joints look human. Excuse me, I had a hiccup there. On the legs, you can see the joints are gray inside. The only thing is the articulation is limited, but with a figure like this, I don't really care. He's got 2 big claws, white nails for some reason. More a lot of crazy joints, kind of like bent legs, kind of like a velociraptor kind of looking thing. And this figure, Hasbro actually reused it for a mold. So, Toybiz reused this mold when they made the Spider-Man Classics Venom figure. So this was one of the first Venom figures that Toybiz released, and they did reuse the same body for this. Like, they changed enough that it feels different. Like, look at these two guys. Like, if we bend the legs on Venom all the way straight, like, if we bend him all the way straight and we stand him up, he stands up. If we bend his legs all the way straight and we try standing him up, he barely kind of stands up. And that's because Venom, they improved articulation. They gave him a hinge in the foot here. They gave him bend in the toe. The knee joint bends a little better. The legs are actually not the same legs. The sculpting on the legs is different. This one is like more smooth, whereas this one's more bumpy and symbiote-like. Everything below the knee is different. Look at the two of them. His leg is a little shorter, and he has like this curvy velociraptor leg, whereas Venom has a more human leg. He's got a human-looking foot, whereas he has like a symbiote kind of foot. They gave him extra articulation here. They gave hinges in the hands. The arms are completely different too. It doesn't have this spike here. It has big hands. The joints, they actually painted these joints black. The paint's coming off on mine though. And these joints, they didn't paint them. They just left them like that. The torso too, this piece here actually, the texture feels different. This one feels like a... I did paint this one, but this part, the paint came off a bit, and the texture here, this one feels like more plasticky. The joints, or the muscles, are a little bit more sticking out compared to this one. On the torso, the chest is actually different. Like, his chest, it's hard to show you, but his chest actually sticks out farther than his. And so, yeah, they did reuse, like, a very, very similar body, like the same articulation, the same principles, but I feel like Hasbro or Toybiz changed enough that it feels so much different and much more unique. They also changed this too, that you can rotate this all the way around. You can't go this way though, it gets stuck, but you can go all the way around this way. This guy, if you try rotating him, it makes a lot more clicky sound. So Toybiz, they increased that too. Also, you notice here, the muscles here, when you can't make it get straight like that, they won't line up perfectly. You either have it like that or like that. You can't have it perfectly, perfectly lined up. The Venom, with the articulation they gave you, you can have the muscles all completely line up. Like when you move it, it doesn't like click and in place. You can like adjust it however you want. And so they changed that too. They improved it. That's what I love about Toybiz. He has peg holes on the back here where you plug them in. I super glued them in because they would come off a lot. You can see them kind of coming off there. Because like if you wiggle the figure like this, sometimes the tentacle would fly out. But yeah, I super glued them in. Actually, I think my mom did, so they wouldn't come out. And that's how I didn't lose them. These ones were super glued in too. Head can rotate all the way around. The waist rotates all the way around. Listen to that click. That's pretty nice. That's pretty cool there. The legs kick up. They they do actually rotate all the way around. They get kind of stiff here, and that's so like you can lock them in place. You know where they are. The toe or the arm, the knee bends only one spot, but it bends about 90 degrees. The arms also bend 90 degrees, and they rotate all the way around. I put some glue dots here because the arms used to be really, really loose. Before this review, I actually put glue dots because they were like super crazy loose. Like you move it, and the whole arm would just wiggle around a lot. He's one of my favorite symbiote figures. I will say, I'm going to be honest, I think he's one of my favorite symbiote figures. But that's about for this review. I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think about this guy. Let me know what you think about Lasher. I don't really know anything about him from the comic books. I pretty much only know he's one of the Life Foundation symbiotes. But either way, I will see you guys in the next review. Wow.